Hey, what up, though? What up, though? What's going on, y'all? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, man. I'm excited about today. So we definitely gonna get some good, we should have some good analysis today with a lot of the opportunities that we got going on today. Hold on 1 second, y'all. See what's going on with this thing. Let's see one thing. Look like I'm having issues on my YouTube situation. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right, y'all. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all joining today. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and start off with a word of prayer like we always do. And then from there, we're going to hop into it. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this day, Lord. We want to thank you for life, health, and strength, Lord. I want to thank everybody who was able to join this particular live today. I pray that this particular channel will continue to be a blessing and it continue to add value to whoever encountered this particular channel. Lord, I want to pray for all of those out there, hopefully that they remain healthy and safe. And Lord, we ask these things in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Ish, what's going on, man? How you doing? Hey, if you guys have any pairs that you want to see marked up, please put them in the chat and I'll be happy to get to them. All right, so a couple of things. We're doing something a little new today. We're actually streaming Facebook and YouTube today. So yeah, we're gonna try it out and see how it goes. And so for those who are new, what we usually like to do is start off with news, because news is a heavy impact for the pairs that we're gonna mark up and things like that. So, you know, we're gonna jump into it, y'all. We're not gonna delay it any further. So let's go ahead and get into it. So if we're starting off this week and we're looking at Monday, as we can see, Sunday, we don't necessarily have anything going on. But today I kind of focused on only the red and orange pairs. I'm sorry, the red and orange folders, which will kind of give us the analysis that we're looking for to kind of move the market in whichever direction we want to move. So as we can see, Monday, we got some action during the London session, GBP pairs, and also later on in the day, we got CAD pairs. Like I said, we don't necessarily usually have CAD pairs this late in the day. And so we should definitely see some movement within the CAD pairs. Going into Tuesday, we can see GBP will be moving during the London session as well. And we also have Euro that'll probably be closer to the end of the London session. Going into the New York session, we got GBP, and we also got a lot of movement on USD pairs on Tuesday. So a lot of movement that we saw last week. We should definitely see some rebounds and things this week as well. Okay. Also on Tuesday, we got AUD news at 4:30. So those who trade gold and things like that, like I always say, we'll possibly see a lot of movement on gold as it relates to AUD movement and things like that. Going into Wednesday, GBP pairs again during London session. And then we got FOMC on USD pairs on Wednesday. So any of those who are trading USD pairs, Wednesday around 1 p.m. Central Time is going to be heavy movement in the market. And we also got the federal funds rate that's coming out as well. So these three right here are going to be heavy movers of USD. So we'll look at USD pairs today and kind of see exactly where the market might take us and things like that. As we can see, also 1:30 we got another FOMC, but for me personally, I think the biggest moves are going to be during this 1 p.m. News situation here. Going into 3:45, we got NZD pairs that's going to move, and then capping off that night about 6:30 during the Asian session, we got AUD news that's going to move. AUD news that's going to come in. That's going to move Australian dollar, and also gold again. Going into Thursday, we got chef pairs around London. 6 in the morning, we got GBP pairs. Euro will do some movement in the morning on Thursday, and then USD pairs is gonna rally off again at 7:30 in the morning. And then right after that, we got Euro that's gonna move again. Closing off until Friday, we got Euro moving during the London session. GBP pairs, and then of course we got USD that's going to close us out around 8:45 a.m. All right, and like I said, for those who are just joining us, if you have any pairs you want to see marked up, go ahead and put them in the chat. But I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. We're gonna start it off with Euro USD. This is one of the pairs that we really didn't get a chance to get to like we wanted to last week because of some of the streaming issues that we had. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. All right, so a lot of times whenever we mark up, we usually like to start on the daily time frame, and for those who are new, each one of these candles symbolize a day, so it takes a day for each one of these candles to complete. So let's go ahead and get into it and kind of mark this up and see exactly what we're looking at. So if we look at market structure on this, we can see initially it was bearish, as we can see. Let me make that a little bigger this, and we'll make it orange, that way everybody can kind of see it. Okay, so if we're looking at this pair, we got lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and we got a break of structure in this area right here. Break of structure, or what we call a change of character. The market decides to turn around on us. This is a daily break of structure right here. Okay, and then from there, let's see. From there, let's see. Let's see if we got a retest at least 50% or greater from our Fibonacci tool, which I don't necessarily see. Even from here, I don't see any pullbacks or anything that's 50% or greater. So we still do a pullback somewhere in these areas. And so with that, I see a couple of demand zones that we can look at that price can possibly bounce off of in the near future. We have a daily demand zone here, and we also have another one here. And so for those who don't really understand how to mark up or find demand zones or supply zones, a really simple, easy way to find those particular zones is look at the last, like if we're going in an up structure, you want to look at the last down candle before the up move. So for example, as we can see, price is going down right here, and then you have an up move here. So basically with this zone, what we've done is we've taken this demand zone and we marked it from the top of this square, top of this wick all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so basically this is the demand zone here. Here's a continuation, which is a bullish, bearish, bullish, and we pretty much mark this demand zone up right here as well. So those are daily demand zones that price can possibly come back, tap into before it continues to the upside. All right. But let's go ahead and drop down to the 4-hour time frame and see what price action is giving us at this point in time though. So we can see from a 4-hour perspective, it's bullish. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, so on and so forth. So what we'll do, we'll notate our higher highs and higher lows from a 4-hour perspective, because that's the time frame that we really are going to actually be, you know, really basing our analysis on, is the 4-hour. The daily is where we go to actually, you know, kind of look at the market and see exactly what the big picture is. But the 4-hour is really kind of sort of where we like to play and do our analysis on. So basically what I'm doing right now is just marking up the different higher highs and higher lows on the 4-hour time frame. That way I can see exactly where structure is. These back here, I don't necessarily need to look at those because those are kind of far back. So the last 4 is what I usually like to do, okay? So we'll play around with these 4 right here. Hold on one second, you guys. All right, so we'll play around with these 4. All right, so as we can see from a 4-hour perspective, we're due for a higher high. So I'm looking for price to kind of sort of break this area here. But let's drop down to the 1 hour just to take a look and see exactly what price is doing as well. All right, so if we're looking at this on a 1 hour time frame, we can see that we had a lower low, lower high, lower low. I'm sorry, lower low, lower high, lower low, and a break of structure right here on the one hour. Okay. 1 hour break of structure here. And we can see if we take out our fibs, put it here, we can see price pull back within 50% of our Fibonacci tool, which actually bounced off this demand zone here, this bearish, bullish, bearish demand zone here. We can see that price played around in this area a little bit. So this was a 1 hour demand zone. It played around in this area before it kind of jumped off to the upside, okay? But then it also came back and gave us another wick to this demand zone as well. All right, so let's go ahead and drop to the 15-minute to kind of look at price as well. So from a 15-minute perspective, we can see higher high, higher low. So from a 15-minute perspective, we can see that price kind of broke this low here, came down, tapped into this area here, and it's still kind of playing around in this area. So one of the things I would like to see before we consider anything, because like I said, I'm ultimately looking for a price to take out this area here. I want to see price pass this area here to give us a new higher high. And right now price is kind of like in the middle of no man's land, so I probably won't look to actually take any trades right now, but I want to see price break this area. Once it breaks that area there, then we can drop to a smaller time frame to see if we get a break of structure or something to come back to the downside. But in the meantime, we do want to notate this 4 hour, let me make it a little bigger. This 4 hour higher low here, this is our protected low. And what I mean by that is, if price breaks this area, then we're going to start really looking for we're going to start looking for sales, because price wants to kind of sort of pull back and maybe start following down that trend of what we were talking about before, as far as on a daily, we might want to see a pullback. But right now, we're still looking at price to kind of go up. It's still bullish right now, okay? Because right now, on a 1 hour time frame, we got a higher high, higher low, higher high. Price came back, dipped into this area here, and it's probably going to continue to the upside again. All right, so we just need to be patient when the market initially opens to kind of see what it's going to give us. One of the things, like I said, I want to see it break this higher high here and then show us some bearish momentum to come down and possibly give us another higher low or something like that. But right now the market is in no man's land and I don't really want to play with it right now. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and move on to GU. All right. Hold on one second, you guys. Go ahead and stop this one right here. Hey, can you guys still hear me? I want to make sure you guys can still hear me because it's showing that it's buffering, and I want to make sure that you guys can still hear or see me, so to speak. Look like the stream is kind of lagging. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, so now we back. Sorry about that, you guys. Had a few technical difficulties again, so we should be on it now. All right, so looking at GU, if we look at the big picture on GU, let's check this out. So with GU, we can see that initially we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, that's from a daily perspective. All right, and we can see right up in this area here, we're starting to breach our daily lower high, where we're getting actually a break of structure. Okay, so that's what we're looking at right now. So that's our big picture. So let's go ahead and drop to the 4 hour to kind of see exactly what we're looking at. So from a 4 hour perspective, we're bullish. Okay, because you can see we clearly have higher highs and higher lows. Really good market structure as it's just staircasing up. Okay, so from there, let's see, let's go ahead and mark our structures on our 4 hour time frames, that way we know where we are. Okay, high, low, higher, high. All right, so that's what we're looking at right now. And so within this leg of structure here, let's kind of look and see what the pullback is. So we take our fib from the bottom to the top. We can tell that we have a demand zone from a 4 hour perspective here. We have a 4 hour demand. And we can see price literally wicked into this 50% area here. And then it started to kind of staircase off and try to break out and go in the other direction. So let's drop to a 1 hour time frame to see if it bounced off anything, which we can actually see that. So if you notice in this area here, we have a 1 hour demand zone that price decided to dip into and then dip off. Okay. Now, as you can see on a 1 hour perspective, let's see exactly what we're looking at, because I think price might come back a little further, but let's drop to the 15-minute and see what we can possibly capitalize off of. So as you guys can see, initially it was higher high, higher low, higher high. Price decided to come down and it broke this low here, and now we're getting a retest. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at the chain of events and how this thing kind of transpired. Okay, so this here is a 15-minute breakup structure. All right, so first, initially, price was going up to the upside. Okay, it was creating higher highs, higher lows. Okay, we got a breakup structure right in this area here that broke this last low. Okay, and now from here, from the upside, we throw our Fibonacci tool from the top to the bottom. We can see that price dipped up into this area here, which tapped into this 15-minute supply right here. "15-minute supply zone." We can see that price, when it tapped into the supply zone, it took out liquidity here, and then it decided to shoot down to the downside. Okay, so one of the things I think we might look at is, let me go ahead and go to the 4 hour a little bit so it'll be a little bigger. I'm thinking that price wants to come down to this 4 hour demand zone. I'll just keep that 1 hour there. I think price possibly wants to come down to this area here before it continues back up to the upside. Okay, and so right now we're kind of like in the same boat as EU. We want to let the market kind of catch up to itself, and so like I said, it's bullish. You know, the market is bullish right now until price breaks this last low right here. This is our protected low on the 4 hour. This is our protected low. Okay, so that's one of the things that we want to see. I want to see if price will dip down into this 4 hour supply zone and possibly dip to the upside. One of the things that we can notice is that we have a smaller, demand zone. We have a smaller demand zone right in here, which is an hourly demand zone. So price might come down, dip a little further into this area before it shoots off. But either way, that's one of the things I want to kind of look at and see if we can possibly catch it to the upside. If it drops down to this area and then we see like on a 1 minute or something that price is showing breakup structures and things like that and a retest to the upside, then I'll ride it to this higher high here. And let's just say if we did catch a trade down to this area here, let's say if we caught it on this 1 hour and then we decided to ride it up here, you know, that's 380 something pips. Of course, my stop loss wouldn't be 80 pips or so like that, but you know, I'll kind of base my stop loss on the smaller time frame. But if we were to catch an entry here and ride it up to this area right here, that's about 300 pips, you know. So we just want to be mindful. And so it possibly can happen this week because like I said, there's a lot of USD news that's happening this week, and we want to be mindful and we want to make sure that we're patient and we're looking at the market, you know, subjectively, and we're looking at it to where, you know, we're not jumping anything, catching FOMO and all of that kind of thing. Let's see, if it dips, would that be a liquidity run? When you saying dip where? Ish, what do you mean dip? Where do you say if it dips where? If it dips down to this area, these demand zones? Because if it dips down to these demand zones, that's just a, you know, healthy normal retracement. So let me know exactly what you mean when you're saying if it dips. Oh, in this area, yeah, that's not necessarily taking out liquidity in this area. That's just a normal retracement. Yeah, that's just a normal retracement coming back into this area here. Because this leg of structure, even though it dipped 50%, I mean, it can go ahead and continue to go up and take out these highs. However, just me, I just don't think it came all the way down. Because one of the things I like to look at the trend of whatever the market is in right now. And what I mean by that is, let's just say if we looked at this leg of structure here, let's see how far it dipped back. So if we took a fib from here up here, we can see that it dipped below the 61.8. It almost got to the 78.6. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that, most of the swings, they kind of follow the same pursuits throughout that leg of structure, throughout that trend, so to speak. So if we kind of look at this one here, we can see that this one only dipped 50% and then it bounced off. GU statistically is not known for just bouncing off of 50%. It can, but GU likes to bounce off of 61.8s. Let me see, below the equal lows. Below this protected low down here, if we're talking about the protected lows, if it breaks below that and then continue to go up, yeah, that'll be taking our liquidity and continuing on the upside. That definitely be taking our liquidity. If it broke this low, this H4 protected low, and it decided to go up and still take out this high, oh yeah, that's definitely gonna take out liquidity. But I don't know if it'll do that. If it break this low, I'll be looking for it to really break through it and come all the way down, give us a retest, and then continue to the downside. But right now, just my pre-market bias, and that, like I said, that could change as the week goes on. But my pre-market bias, the 15 minute, let's see. You talking about this wick here? This definitely here. This wick here is definitely taking out liquidity, taking out some stops and all types of things. That's definitely a liquidity grab right there. The lows. Oh, I got you. I got what you're saying. So this one here, I definitely think this initial swing right here was probably a liquidity grab or some sort. Came down here, blasted through. Because if you look at these, this here should have actually been the move, but this thing came up and it blasted all the way down. And so from there, it came back up, gave us a higher high, and then it broke these lows. So yeah, you're right. That was taking out liquidity because you see these wicks here. So yeah, it was taking out liquidity, but it was also giving us that break of structure as well. And then from there, it decided to give us a retest back into the supply zone, but it also took out liquidity up here because a lot of people were probably looking to put their stops maybe right here or just a little bit above. So it wicked through, liquidity took out those stops there, and now it's probably going to continue to the downside. So yeah, you're right about the liquidity on those lows on the 15 minute. Okay, so on GU, that's what I'm kind of looking at, you guys. Price could possibly come down to this area here and then bounce off to the upside. Okay, let's go to USD CAD. All right. So if we look at USD CAD, you guys, USD CAD is definitely changing direction. And so right where it is right now, we're possibly going to see some huge sell-offs in the market because I'm expecting, like, you know, it's definitely, I'm expecting to do the opposite of what Euro USD, GBP USD, because those have USD in the denominator and this is in the numerator. USD CAD. And we have some news on CAD pairs this week. Okay, so let's check this out. If we're looking at this from a daily perspective, we got higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure. Okay, we got break of structure in this area right here. This is our daily break of structure. All right, so now since we got this break of structure, if we throw our fibs on this here, we can see that price is starting to come back into this area here. And it's literally, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections off the 61.8. But look at where they actually came to. They wicked off of this daily supply zone right here. Let me remove the fibs. We can see we got, 1, 2, pretty much 4 rejections off this daily supply zone. Okay, so which lets us know that this is a heavily respected supply zone. If came and filled in all of these orders, now price possibly wants to look to the downside. And then also, if we look at here, look at this. We got a dragonfly doji right here on the daily. Price dipped off and price came back to retest in this area before it's going to possibly dip off. Okay, so let's drop into the 4-hour time frame to kind of look at that and kind of put it all into perspective. Man, couldn't get that out. Okay, so one of the things we also want to notate, once we go to the 4-hour, we do have a 4-hour supply zone up in this area here that price can possibly tap into before it goes in the other direction. Okay, but we can see price came up, higher high, higher, let me see, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we're still bullish on the 4-hour. Let's drop to the 1-hour to kind of look and see what's going on. So, all right, here's what we got. On the 1-hour, we have higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure. Okay, and this is all on the 1-hour time frame. Okay, from there, after the break of structure, we have a retest, 50% or greater, came all the way back into the supply zone here. Cover this whole thing right here. This is a 1-hour supply right here. Uh-oh. Okay, we got a 1-hour supply. Price dipped into it and decided to dip off. So if we drop to the 15-minute, let's kind of see exactly what's going on with the 15-minute. Okay, so from a 15-minute perspective, we can see that we got higher high, higher low, higher high, and then from a 15-minute perspective, we got price to break our 15-minute break of structure right here. From there, price dipped off to the downside, and then it retested right into the supply zone right here. Okay, took out liquidity over in this area, because when you look at it, all of this right here is liquidity. All of these areas right here is liquidity. So price came, took out all of this liquidity here, tapped into that area, and it did a massive drop off. Okay, so we're already in the thick of these right now. With this liquidity move here, price dipped down, and so I'm looking for price to possibly go to the downside. It could come back and retest this area again, but I don't think so. Let's drop to the 5 minute for a second and just kind of look at this. Came back to retest. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Price broke this area a tad bit. Liquidity took out this area right here, which was a 5 minute break of structure. I don't really like this break of structure though, because it's literally just wicks taking out liquidity down here. But we can see that price definitely did tap back into this area here. This 5 minute supply. And so from there, we might see a dip off. We just might. Because if we drop to a 1 minute, we got a break of structure on the 1 minute going to the downside. We got higher high, higher low, higher high. We got 1 minute break of structure right here. And so one of the things that I want to see price come back into this area. Price come back into this area here, and we can get a massive sell-off. Massive sell-off, y'all. Catch some really good pips on USD CAD. So if we can catch this, I mean, you can look at this in so many different ways. Like, for example, you can possibly ride price down to this area here, take out this liquidity, which is around 48 pips, or you can ride price down to this 4 hour area here for 85 pips, or you can ride it all the way down to this area here for 266 pips. So either way you slice it, there's definitely a lot of potential as far as sell opportunities with USD CAD this week. A lot of opportunities. So for me, I'm going to closely be watching this pair because it's definitely giving me all the right signals that I like to see. Even if we, let's look at something right quick. Even if we took a sell right up in this area, put our stops right above this area here, that's about 16 pips. That's still good risk to reward. You can ride it down to this area initially, or you can ride it down to the other area, all the way to the bottom. You can ride it down right here for about a good 85 pips or so. That's a really good trade. Okay, so that's my analysis here for USD CAD. I like the odds on this. I see a lot of changing characters and changing in directions and things like that. So I think this one definitely going to be a good one for the sale this week. All right, let's check out EG. Let's check out Euro GBP. All right, let's go to the daily and actually see what it's looking like. Okay, so as we can see, this thing had a change of character as well from a daily perspective. We have higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure right here from a daily perspective. Okay, now that we got this daily break of structure, we have price to come back in this area. into this daily supply before it dipped off, because right now I'm looking for sales right now. From the big picture perspective, I'm looking for sales on EG. All right, we dropped to the 4 hour. Let's look at market structure on the 4 hour. Let's look at current price right now. So from a 4 hour, we can see we got lower low or high, lower low, another possible lower high. This won't be confirmed until this low here is broken. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark up our structure. H4, so this is the lower high, lower high, lower low, and lower low. Okay, this is our protected high right here. This is our protected high right here. If this breaks, then I'm going to start changing my bias to look for buys. But right now I'm looking for sales. Okay, this is our protected high right here. All right, so from that perspective, let's look at our fibs and see what price actually dipped into. So we can see price almost came back to this 78.6 area. We had a wick that came right here to this 78.6 before it started to dip back off to the downside. Okay, let's drop to the 1 hour. And so we can see on the 1 hour time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and higher high. Price broke right here. It's a 1 hour break of structure. Okay, we can remove this fib. And so when we're looking at this 1 hour time frame, we can see that we have a 1 hour supply zone right here. But let's look and see exactly what price is doing as far as the pullback right now. Okay, so we still have room to go as far as price pulling back into this zone before it dips off. And remember, we have a lot of GBP news and Euro news this week during London session, and we got a few during the New York session. So we definitely want to be mindful of when those times and all of that type of thing happens, that way we can capitalize on some of those pairs if this is a pair that you're going to trade. Okay, so that's one of the things we want to see. We want to see price dip off into that, but let's look at what price is right now. Hold on, I want to look at the 5 minute for a second, because I think price is going to turn around to come back up in this direction. Here's why. Check this out, you guys. If I drop to the 1 minute, let's say the 1 minute for right now, and we can see, I'm gonna make this bigger. On the 1 minute time frame, we have lower low. Hold on, let's see. Is this lower? Okay. So on a 1 minute time frame, we have lower low, lower high, lower low, break of structure right here. 1 minute time frame. Okay, we got a 1 minute break of structure. From there, we have demand zones in this area that needs to be mitigated, and we have demand zones in this area. Let's drop to a 5 minute though. Let's go up to the 5 minute and kind of look. So right now, I want to look at this entire area right here. Okay. And look at what price is doing right now. This is a 5 minute demand. So we can see price is rapidly trying to come back to this area. Okay. So price possibly come back here, bounce off of this. Now, if we were to take a buy, let's just say we set a pending order for this. You know, we can come here, set a pending order. Even if we cleared this demand zone here, that's 7.3 pips. That's really, really good risk to reward. Even if we rolled it up to here, that's a 1 to 3. Or if we decided to ride it back up to this supply zone right here, that's a 1 to 7 risk reward, 54 pips. Okay, so that's one of the things I'm going to be looking at with this pair. Possibly catch this particular entry right here. I mean, that's a really, really good entry, really good risk reward. Yeah, I actually like the odds of this trade because, like I said, we got a 1 hour break of structure. And then I'm looking for price to possibly come back up, tap into this demand zone, and then continue to the downside. But right now, I'm looking at this counter trend trade to actually come back up here. One of the things we can also look at as well, we want to be mindful that from a 1 hour perspective, we have a 1 hour demand like so. So price literally can bounce back anywhere in this area. But I would like to see it come all the way down to this 5-minute demand zone down here. But that's pretty much what we have on EG. EG might turn around to be a really, really good trade as well. So those are some of the things I see on EG. Yeah, I want to see price come back up here, dip into this, and then come back ultimately to take out this this lower low right here. That's what I want to see. Now, it don't have to do that. Price literally can just start to go down. You know, because when you look at this, we want to be patient on all of this. Because when you look at this, price have already dipped back into the 78.6. However, one of the things I'm looking at, price needs a retest on this 1 hour to continue to go down, to verify or to validate the downtrend. And it hasn't done that yet from a 1 hour perspective. Because when we take the field and we throw it from here to the bottom, it hasn't retested this 50% yet. It's not a requirement that it has to, but those are confirmations that I look for, okay? So EG is definitely turning out to be a potential really, really good trade. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and end it off on gold, because I don't see any other requests in the market. And let's check it out. Let's check out gold right quick. So if we're looking at gold on the daily, one of the things that we can see, okay, so what's gold? From a daily perspective, we have lower low, lower high, lower low. This could have been a lower high. However, if we zoom in, this area here, these lows, they never broke this area here. Okay, so this is not our last confirmed lower high. This is our last confirmed lower high right here. This is our daily protected high. We can see that it wicked this area, but it hasn't broken it yet. It's clearly on the path to break it. However, it still hasn't necessarily broken this area yet, but I believe it will. Okay. If we drop to the 4 hour time frame, let's look at the market and see exactly what it's doing. Okay, so we can see from a 4 hour perspective, we have these big moves: higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And it looks ugly in this area here. However, we have a double top right here. Okay, the reason why this one is validated as a lower low is because we got more than a 2 candle pullback on this particular area here. I'm sorry, higher low. I'm sorry, higher low, higher high. And then in this area, we had a break of structure on the 4-hour time frame. And as you can see right here, we threw our fibs up here. Take this off. So our fibs on right here, we can see price came all the way back into this area. Came to take out this imbalance. We had an imbalance right here in this area right here. Price came up there, took out that imbalance, and we had a huge, massively huge 4-hour supply right here. Okay, let's drop to the 1 hour to kind of see what we had. Okay, so looking at this makes me think that on like the 2 hour or the 3 hour, there's another supply that's more defined. So I'm gonna check it out. Let's look at the 2 hour. Yep. So check this out. The 2 hour, here to here. We can see we had a 2 hour demand zone. I'm sorry, supply zone. I don't know why I keep mixing that up like that. We got a 2 hour supply zone, price literally perfectly tapped into it and then started to dip off. And so when we look at this, you know, we kind of want to ask ourselves, what is price trying to achieve? Okay, so we know we got a break of structure and a retest. If we look at this from a, let's go back to the 4 hour for a second. If we look at this from a 4 hour perspective, we have a demand zone here. Okay, let's drop to the 1 hour. We can see down in this area, we have a lot of imbalances with unhealthy price action. And so we have 1 hour demand zone down in this area. So price could come down in this area. However, it might not. You know, it could, it could not. But one of the things we want to do, we want to be patient with gold to see exactly what it's going to do. Because if you look at this from a 1 hour perspective, we're bullish. 4 hour is doing a retest, but a 1 hour, we're bullish right now. Because if you look at these moves, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, well, yeah, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we're bullish right now from a 1 hour perspective. We haven't broken structure or anything. You know, so we drop to the 15 minute, we can probably see the moves more defined. So like, look at this. Our last moves from a 15 minute perspective, we have right here and 15. I'm gonna make this bigger so you guys can see it. Here, 15 minute, let's see, higher high, higher low right here, bottom, we got another one right here. Okay, higher high, higher low, higher high. And if we look at this right now, we're bullish, even on the 15 minute. This is the 15 minute demand right here. Price haven't quite got down to this area, but if we throw our fibs on this thing, we can see price came down here, almost got to the 78.6, but it dipped past this 61.8 right here. And price might possibly go back down and dip into this demand zone before it continues back up. And I say that because when we drop to a smaller time frame, we're bearish. You know what I'm saying? So on a smaller time frame, we're here. That's what we're looking at. So we possibly can come back up here, dip into this, break of structure, retest, and then continue up. Okay, so that's some of the patterns that we possibly can see. But like I said, as always, we don't really know what it's going to do right now until we see some break of structure or some type of signals or indicators like that before we actually plan to jump into it. Okay, so, but to kind of close this thing out, that's what we're looking at. Overall, I'm looking for a lot of USD to possibly go bullish, possibly. Like with this gold, like I said, I don't know if it's going to continue down here and retest. I'm not sure. But from a 1 hour, 15 minute, things like that, the market is clearly bullish. We have this trend right here where the market is clearly bullish, and it's possibly retesting right now to continue to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at, bullish momentum from a 1 hour perspective on gold until it actually breaks this 15 minute down here. If it breaks this 15 minute protected low, then my bias will change as far as it really starting to go down from that 4 hour move. Okay, so hey you guys, I hope today was pretty good. I hope today blessed you guys. That's pretty much what I have for today. If you guys have any other analysis or any other pairs that you guys would like to see, please put it in our Discord chat. I would definitely be happy to mark up for you guys. And hey, be careful this week as far as your trading. There's going to be a lot of movement. Stay patient, use proper risk management, and hey you guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.